How's it going, everybody? So today we got an album thoughts video on the long-awaited debut album from Paladin with the magic of WindFyre Steel. First off, let's check out the cover art. We all know that I like to do that, so take a look at that right there. That is nice. That is nice. I mean, it just looks colorful and fun and the fantasy vibe, and there's nothing dark about it. It just looks very, like, you got the folks there traveling to the castle in the background. The dragon is just sitting there chilling. It's not flying around blowing fire or anything like that. So this cover just really gives off, first of all, a power metal vibe. I mean, you look at that cover, you're going to get yourself some fantasy power metal. And I really like the cover because the vibes the cover gives off here is just, again, nothing real dark. There's nothing sinister about it. There's no, like, foes that they're fighting. It just looks more adventurous. So it's just got a magical, adventurous, fantasy, power metal vibe, and that is exactly what you get in the album. So I really dig the cover. It's very nice. Again, the design of it is cool, and the colors, the way it is, it kind of has an old school looking vibe from, like, maybe 80s, kind of He-Man type era stuff. Just nice. Really nice. I dig it. Now for the album, it comes in at about a little over 50 minutes, and there's 9 tracks, so around 50-minute mark, if you check out my other album thoughts videos, that's in the sweet spot for me. I really like albums between 45 minutes and an hour. I think that's the sweet spot. You get enough content, but it doesn't overstay its welcome, so this fits right in there. And 9 tracks, that's a solid amount. Kicks off with Kraven the Hunter, which, if you've seen that single they dropped, that's a fun song. And it's interesting because I feel like starting out with this song was good because it's a little bit of an outlier, in my opinion. It's just like a really fun track that. The second song is Righteous Fury, which was their first single, which I think really is what kicks off the whole album. Kraven the Hunter, in my opinion, yes, it suits and sounds like the rest of the album for the most part, but I feel like that one's almost like a standalone kind of song, just to kind of get the vibe going and get the fun, adventurous feeling started. But Righteous Fury, I think, is really when it kicks off the vibe of the whole rest of the album. But just to kind of talk about the sound a little bit, this is just some tight power metal here. A lot of it is speedy. There's just a lot of speed power metal here. It's not too much slow downs or anything like that. Once it gets going, I mean, it just rocks. It just takes you right through on an adventure. And again, everything is very tight. The guitar work, the keys, the drums, the bass, all of it is just put together so very well. Like I mentioned, I think, in my Righteous Fury reaction video, these guys sound like they've been playing together for the last 10, 15 years. And this album sounds like an album that a band releases as their 3rd, 4th, or 5th album. It really doesn't have a debut album sound. It is that polished. You got great melodies, just excellent guitar work. One thing I really like about the guitars is a lot of the riffs and the melodies, it kind of harkens back to the kind of music that you'd hear in old 80s cartoons or old 80s heroic action movies or things like that. Or like Power Rangers. It really takes you back to kind of that time, that era, and the magic that era had, especially, like for me, I was a kid, I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, so this sound just really resonates with me a lot. So they did a great job of capturing that sound while having still their own sound. But it's just something special that sets them apart. I feel like when you hear a song that's from Power Paladin, you will know they kind of have the signature sound now where it's like, oh, that's Power Paladin right there. Even when you're just hearing like the guitar work, they just really created something special. And it just never gets old. From track 1 through track 9, it just all flows very well. Feels like one cohesive work, one cohesive package, one adventure, and it's just great. The vocals are fantastic. He hits those high notes when need be, and just works really well with the music. It just does a fantastic job. Righteous Fury is still one of the highlights in my opinion. That song is just so awesome in so many ways. But another one I really like is track 4, Way of the Kings. The chorus in that one, the melody is just, it's so good. And then the last 3 songs, I consider like the ending trilogy almost, because all 3 of them really kind of go together and end the album. Creatures of the Night is track 7. That one starts out really kind of cool and gives you vibes of the Thriller from Michael Jackson or something from, what's his name? I can't think of him. He was an actor. He did a lot of voiceover work. He did the narration for the Thriller Michael Jackson video. Really harkens back to that kind of thing and has some really great synth work in that one. Into the Forbidden Forest is another great one. That's track 8. And it really kind of has a nice melodic, adventurous sound. And then There Can Be Only One, which is the final track, which I was really excited about because, Highlander is just great, and There Can Be Only One is just the classic line. And this was really cool. Some really good piano work here. It kind of starts out kind of with piano, kind of melancholic and whatnot, but then it ramps up again, per the style of the rest of the album. Just a lot of, just really just goes. There's not really a slow song in this album, but There Can Be Only One is just such an awesome way to end it. Just showcases, I think, the best of everything. The vocals, his range, and just the melody of it is just so good. Everything about this album is just catchy, and the way I can describe it is when you're listening to this, especially that last song, but just the whole album in general, you really want to like have your brothers and sisters arm in arm and just going on an adventure or high-fiving a bro. That's the feeling that to best convey. It's just, again, there's nothing really dark about this album at all. It's much more of a positive, adventurous, kind of youthful, magical feeling that they're conveying through the songs and the melodies. It's just more of just a whimsical kind of adventure. Again, there's no like real dark, sinister, foreboding sounds or atmospheres here. It's all more of just a whimsical adventure. Just like I said, get your brothers and sisters arm in arm and just go explore and have this fantastical adventure. And it's just great. And there's just so many moments that, like I said, it's kind of like high five a bro, power metal. Just gives you a good feeling. And that's my thoughts really on it. It's just, everything is very tight. All the instrumentation, just fantastic, and just has this, they've created this signature sound that I said just that harkens back, takes you back, especially if you grew up in the 80s or 90s. It's just great. They really have created something special here. It's one heck of a debut album, and what a great way to start off the new year. There's not much more I can say about it. It's just a joy to listen to, and it's fun, and it's an album I'm going to be going back to again and again. So honestly, my final thoughts on this album, with the magic of WindFyre Steel, not quite sure what WindFyre Steel is, but boy oh boy does it bring the magic. The magic is real here, folks. Power Paladin with the magic of WindFyre Steel. Check it out. And I almost forgot, I like to mention, if there's any song that you listen to give you an idea of the album or to get you into the album, I honestly would just recommend checking out Righteous Fury. They released that as a single. Just a great song, great example of what you're going to get here. If you dig that song, you're going to dig the album. If you don't like that song, first of all, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you probably won't like the album. But if you're a fan of power metal, 100%, hands down, check out this album. This is one you don't want to miss. You're going to dig it. I guarantee. That's that. That's Power Paladin and their debut album with the magic of WindFyre Steel. Major, major props to those folks over there. Those boys know what they're doing. Great stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Ranger,